everyone, it's Seth. First of all, I'm wearing this outfit and Beth Leavel asked me why. Say hi, Beth.
I said hello. I asked him, I walked in immediately. It's like, what? What?
Okay,
Number 5?
Yeah. I went to Oberlin, so my partner James and kid, they were at Housing Works, they bought it for me. They're like, oh, now you look like a football player. So I wore it proudly. Someone came up to me in the street and I was like, I'm a football player. They're like, actually, that's from the Oberlin women's rugby team. Now what?
Check, please.
Now what?
Check, please.
Okay, so we're still eating. So Beth Leavel and I met doing
Summer loving. I was so
so
good in
funky?
that. I've been so good in that part. I was embracing my inner.
She was Rizzo, and then she wound up directing it. And let me say that she was pregnant at the time, and now that baby is how old?
22 and a half, almost 23 years old. I don't know how that's possible.
That's how long us bitches have known each other.
That's right.
Okay, so back to the level. First of all, speaking of kids,
Yes.
You're doing, what's the show? Elf. You're doing
Elf.
again. So last year, or 2 years ago, she was at my Sirius XM show and singing with this little boy.
Matthew.
And she goes, watch this little kid, he can belt higher than me. So literally, as she's performing the number in character, she breaks character, looks over, and points right before the high note.
You know, it's a skill that had to be recognized. And only Seth, of course, would go, wow, he hit that D, and you're like stuck way on that B, lazy singer. I'm like, yeah, he can sing it great.
Cut
Just
to
ridiculous.
that same little boy now talks like,
I like this. Hey, Beth, how's it going?
He used to be like, hey, Beth, how's it going? Now, we would have to reverse the notes, and I can't do that. So.
you got your comeuppance.
I got my comeuppance.
Okay, so Beth Leavel is from the South. By the way, your name is not really Beth Leavel, isn't it? Something like
No, it's
Beth
Beth Leavel.
Patsy May.
Only when I was in trouble.
Was what?
Elizabeth Lynn Level, you get in here right now. Don't make me. I'm going to count to 3. And then I was like,
There's always a Lynn.
there's always something.
Always a Lynn with a Southerner. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Beth's first big audition because people are always saying like, how do you make it in the business? So I think this is a real good story about grit and determination. First big show you tried out for was Those Dancing Feet. It was a big fat hit back in the early 80s. So discuss, go.
Okay, so I moved to New York, and I made the mistake of thinking I was a dancer. So let me just tell you this story that I have not told you. One of my first auditions in New York was sitting at the Winter Garden Theater in my leg warmers, jazz pants, probably a headband, for Cats. And I was sitting back there going, and I just kept watching them, and then my skill level was diminishing returns until I got up after about an hour and a half, tore my little card out and snuck out the door.
You didn't even?
I didn't even audition. I was so intimidated by the talent and the dancers, not singer who moves well. So the next audition I had was for 42nd Street, which was tap dancing, which I had taken 5 years of tap dancing at Betty Kovacs School of Dance in Raleigh, North Carolina. So there were some skills somewhere.
At what ages? Like 12 to 17?
Like 2nd grade to 6th grade when it wasn't any longer cool. I really wish stay in tap class. Just stay in tap class. It's a great skill. Anyway, so I went to the audition in my lovely fuchsia skirt and jacket for a dance call.
I had the fuchsia plastic jazz pants when I was a kid, just FYI.
Fuchsia's a good color. Pops. Anyway, so I'm sitting there on the stage at the Majestic Theater, because lots of times, not so much now, but you audition at the theater, and there was like the ghost light and like a row of suits and the people that were running, and it was horrifyingly intimidating, terrifying, and just unbelievable an experience. And there was Michael Stewart, and here I'm in a dress and I'm singing I got rhythm at the top of my lungs, and he was so kind. He loved I read the scene, he loved my comedy and my voice.
What role?
Anytime Annie.
Okay, continue.
And then Gower Champion's assistant, Karen Baker, got up to teach me the tap combination in my fuchsia pants, my skirt. So I realized my skill level was not so great. So I had my little Walkman or cassette. I recorded her tapping the sounds, and I just didn't do it very well. And she said I had 5 days, maybe it was 6 days, a finite amount of time to learn those tap steps and to come back and perform it in front of all these people again. So I
didn't videotape it? You just recorded the
videotape.
Oh, right.
Hey, this is 1980.
Okay.
Hey.
So just the sounds were enough.
The sounds were enough to and I, went home immediately and kind of wrote down what I thought was the language, falap, shuffle, hop, step, falap, whatever it was. And there was some steps that I really didn't know how to do, like a pullback. That just was in my tap wheelhouse. There was very little in my tap wheelhouse. So I rented a studio, Harlequin, remember?
Yes.
The floors went like that.
It's also right above, it was like above a porn strip place.
Which I went in twice thinking, wow,
No.
hey, So.
What is it? Okay, go on.
In my jazz pants. So I go up there and I work and I work and I work and I work. And my husband at the time was more of a dancer than I was. And he tried to help me teach me the steps and teach me the steps. And I worked on it for 4 days. And I went back to the audition in the theater in the same pink fuchsia skirt and jacket.
Always wear the same thing, they would say.
Well, it's like, oh yeah, remember her, pink girl? And nailed it. To the point where Karen Baker was like, I really didn't think you'd ever do that. She was like imitating me the first audition. My hands were like, you know, I was awful. But it's just a matter of, you know, getting your confidence and trying to figure out, learn that language of tap again. And I tell you, I've used it more than 42nd Street. It did Crazy for You. And I just did a workshop at Sugar Babies last week and they made me pull my tap shoes out.
Talk to me about where did you do 42nd Street?
Where did I do 42nd Street?
Did you get to do it?
Oh, I did the tour. I did the tour. I went for 8 months. The role opened up on Broadway, and I did it for another 4 years.
Termination, people. Okay, so now to make Beth back up her story, I'm going to make her do those steps again. When was the last time you did this role, dear?
When I didn't have children, do the math.
Okay.
Can't believe you're making me do this.
I
Okay, I don't have my tap shoes on, but I can certainly still. It's all in the face and hand gestures anyway, as we well know.
This camera, make sure you get it close up.
Oh Lord. Okay, I'm moving. I want to know he's going to be like, where's she going?
Okay. Now, by the way, this is the scene where Sassy Anytime Annie, all the girls go to like the Sassy diner, I guess.
It's some cafe that they all hang out at. You know, it'd be like Joe Allen's or Charlie's or Sam's, where that used to be.
And then at the end, the waiter appears after they tap their way to the diner.
But I'm giving Peggy Sawyer a challenge step because she thinks she can tap, and it's like, watch me, who doesn't really know how to tap dance, but fake it really well afterwards.
I challenge thee. Okay, ready? Anytime, Annie?
Oh, yes, ready?
Yes. It's gotta be gig.
5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, always better than aerosols. Here we go, pull back. What do you have?
What did you do here?
God, I have my pants on.
Okay, that did it. I'm out. Cut the camera.